Good afternoon. Welcome to the May 27th meeting for the Tourism Development Council. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah!
Let's start with roll call.
Julie Braga,
Here.
Mayor Connors,
Here.
Vice Chair Hermanson. Here. Larry John, Alex Littress,
Here.
Mayor Medina,
Present.
John Moran,
Here.
Wayne Sword,
Here.
Chair Feltner.
And I'm here. Very good. We have a quorum. Thank you very much. All right, before we get started, any disclosure, anything like that? Anything anybody needs to say before we get going? No? Okay. And we do have council minutes to approve for April 22nd. Any questions on that? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Hermanson, have a second by Mayor Medina. Let's call the roll on the minutes.
Julie Braga,
Aye.
Mayor Connors,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hermanson,
Yes.
Alex Littress,
Yes.
Mayor Medina,
Aye.
John Moran,
Yes.
Wayne Sword,
Yes.
Chair Feltner.
Yes, and we'll show that approved. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the D item, we have an appointment to the Marketing Committee. Want to go to you, Peter, or introduce that, or?
Yeah, so, and Mayor, feel free to jump in. I don't know John, but you wanted to appoint John Scully to marketing, is that right?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. Anything we need to know about him, or? He's from the
John-
city?
Yeah, he's lives in the city of Titusville.
Okay.
Actually happens to work in Rachel Sato's office in the clerk of courts.
Oh, okay.
So he's definitely involved countywide, kind of gets around quite a bit, very involved in our community, actually serves on our planning and zoning board in the city of Titusville. So he's a younger
Great.
individual, late
Yeah.
20s, I think, so I think it'll be
Yeah,
a
good.
good representation.
All right, sir. So it's back to the council to,
I know John, and he's a fine young man. He's around here a lot. Okay.
I
So-
move to appoint John Scully to the
Okay.
marketing
Have-
subcommittee.
Have a motion for John
Second.
Scully. Have a second. So have a motion by Mayor Connors, have a second by Mayor Medina. Let's call the roll on appointment of John Scully.
Julie Braga,
Aye.
Mayor Connors,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hermanson,
Yes.
Alex Littress,
Yes.
Mayor Medina,
Aye.
John Moran,
Yes.
Wayne Sword,
Yes.
Chair Feltner.
Yes, and we'll show him appointed. Very good. Peter?
thank you, sir. Well, we just had not only the best March we ever had, but literally the best month in history. We hit 3.4 million. So TDT continues to climb. Feel very fortunate about that. We were a little unsure as we were going into this new calendar year, but right now we're up about 4.5% pacing. And if we stay on the pace with the budgeted amounts, which we've been pretty close to, we would look like we could hit that 27. So we'll see. That's the goal, obviously. So, but yeah, very exciting when we got that news, and happy to see that. Other than that, not a lot to report. I'm happy to answer any questions about the budget, but we're in good shape. We're getting ready to go into budget season here, so I'll be presenting to the county manager next week, and then when you guys come back in July, I'll present our budget, and then we'll be working on the marketing plan as well over the summer, and then it'll go to the committee, marketing committee, which, by the way, we have one tomorrow, but it'll go to the marketing committee in in August, right? And then we'll bring it to the board in September. Sorry, we'll bring it here also in August, and then we'll bring it to the board in September. So lots of fun stuff coming. If nothing else on my report, sir, I'm happy to go to item 3.
Well, let me ask real quick. Questions for Peter? Questions for Peter on the collection or budget? No? Okay. All right, Peter.
Okay, I'm going to ask Laura to share a presentation. We've been working pretty diligently on some new creative, both for Cocoa Beach and for Melbourne and Palm Bay, as well as for repurposing some new creative we had done last year for Titusville. So trying to bring all the brands sort of together under the umbrella. I will say the Cocoa Beach initiative was a real collaborative effort. Tom was part of that. Cocoa Beach Hotel Association was involved. And then on the Melbourne Palm Bay side, we worked with the South Brevard Tourism Coalition, which is part of the Space Coast Chamber. And they're a hospitality group. Julie's a member of that. Pam Rothenberg leads that. And they were very involved in that or that whole process. So we went through a full branding process to get to these creatives. So it's, several months of work in terms of research and analytics, and then kind of working with the agency to build the brand before they even get into the creative execution. Then you get the creative execution, and then we produced it all last month. So it's been a busy 4 or 5 months working through all of this. So I'll let Laura share everything.
Is there lower? The right arrow?
Should we call Onda real quick, or?
Yeah, why don't we let them call, and I can go to the next item while they work on it. The next item is under your agenda. All right, you guys keep working on it. We'll go to the next. We'll go to the next item. Oh, there it is. Okay, I guess we won't.
We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. All right.
Also known as Onda.
Not as good. You probably just have to click on it.
Okay.
Space bar. There you go.
All right. Ta-da. Yes. Go back.
Thank you, Logan.
Thanks, Logan.
Yep.
So what you're seeing here is our new word mark. As you can see, we've done.
Laura, can you use the
Yeah.
mic, please?
Yeah.
We've done a whole family of word marks for all the municipalities. So it'll all fall under the Florida Space Coast brand. And then as we are marketing and in our advertising, each municipality will be called out. So that's something we've kind of worked on the last few years to really highlight the differences for each municipality. And this just kind of gives it a visual to go along with it.
And, working with the Melbourne and Palm Bay folks, they really wanted to join together in terms of the branding, so that kind of gave us some good direction on that. And, I think it's interesting. You'll see how that gets executed.
Sorry, I'm going to stop this. I know y'all have seen this 1,000 times, but we have updated the word mark in here, so it's pretty cool.
10 seconds and counting. 9, 8, ignition sequence start. 7, T-minus 6, 5, all engines running. 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
So again, that's just a repeat. We've just refreshed what we've been using. It's a very popular spot, and it performs for us. Then we'll move into Cocoa Beach. This is what we're calling the Awestruck campaign. It was developed with our ad agency. After we did our branding exercises, we did capture new video and still photography, so you'll see a lot of that incorporated throughout all municipalities. So that's the TV spot. Here's some of the digital advertising we're doing. Again, still shots, a lot of the things you saw in the video. We captured all of that at one time, so that was very cost effective. A few more here.
The line, you should see the look on your face is, kind of plays off that whole awestruck idea. And we're trying to carry it through into some of the other areas as well.
And the next thing I'm going to show you is Cape Canaveral, Port Canaveral, I'm sorry. We did a video for them as well, and this is part of the D2 advertising rotation. So we've got a 30-second spot here.
It's easy to see why travelers say that Port Canaveral is the best port ever. Breezing through welcoming terminals onto the world's newest ships, setting sail, and then keeping the adventure going when you step back on shore. With waterfront dining, breathtaking rocket launches, family-friendly activities, and legendary Cocoa Beach right next door, your cruise is just the beginning of your trip to Florida's Space Coast.
So then moving into Melbourne and the beaches, again, part of the Awestruck campaign.
Going through the branding process, the research that we did, we got some insight that, Melbourne was definitely a different pace and a different vibe than Cocoa Beach. And so you see a little bit of the more kind of the softer edges of Melbourne and very, very much more focused on kind of a laid back feeling. They like the the more open beaches, not as many people, couples, a lot more couples. So it was interesting to see the differences between the two brands.
And this is some of the digital. Many, many sizes were created, so I'm just showing you the ones that actually show up well on screen. And then we'll move it to Titusville. And as always, we're always promoting the National Seashore and NASA Space Center, of course. Oh, and that's it.
Questions? Questions or comments? Go
I
ahead.
don't have a question, sir, but
Go
I
ahead.
do have a comment. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for everyone that was involved in the strategy of marketing, but I'm a bit dismayed because of the gifts that are within the city of Palm Bay, and I'm just going to, for the record, I'll let you know that the Turkey Creek area is a pristine community. We have kayaking. We have one of the best fishing areas where we've had competitive bass fishing, and I don't see anything as part of being marketed in that regard. So thank you.
That's good to keep, we'll keep those notes. You know, next year we want to bring, we have a couple of ideas for some additional TV, so I think there could be some opportunity there for sure. Then there were folks on the group that were from Palm Bay and gave us some good feedback on it, so we got the fishing in there, but here you, sir, we'll look at that.
And if I could comment, I was in that meeting. It was mentioned as one of the assets. So we cataloged all of the assets as we could, and went through a great extensive process, and that's how we came up with, but that was the first step they had us go through as the hoteliers that were there and present, was to literally go, why do people come to your hotels? So we had the largest turnout for any South campaign that I've ever been a part of. Like, we've been trying to get something like this, and it was everybody from the larger hotels, the branded Marriotts and Hiltons, but there was also small boutique hotels and B&Bs from the beach. So Pam did an amazing job of collaborating and getting people to the table, which is not an easy feat to do in the south part of the county. So we literally did go through, and I know that was mentioned as we cataloged everything as to why they come. I don't know if the campaign specifically is detailing geographic spots. I don't think that's what I gathered from
Right.
that, but we really wanted to highlight that we're the quieter side. That's what our guests want, and that's what the guests have tell us that they want, and that's why they choose Melbourne and Palm Bay. So it's in there. I mean, I know that's what we're using to get to that outcome, because that's what was in the initial part. It was Anbar, right?
Yes.
Anbar took us through an exercise that really helped us highlight all of our assets, and we really went through a very, very extensive process of doing that. It's a good.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
I just feel that there's plenty of B-roll that exists regarding this fishing competition, and it would have added
I see.
so much more, not necessarily geographical, but that's showing, the kayaking industry and the competitive bass fishing, which is huge, and most people don't know about it. So I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and I think also in still photography, that's something that we can, bring into the digital, so we're definitely taking notes on that. Yeah, no, we appreciate the feedback, thank you.
And we are pushing out the municipalities in other ways, so on our website, in our blogs, and in our stories and our newsletters. So if something in particular isn't included in the spot, it's not that it has been ignored. We are using that list of assets that we put together to get the word out to our audiences.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I could mention too is that we actually work with two influencers, JT Kenny and Bob Dance, who are Bill Dance, sorry, I always say Bob Dance. Bill Dance, who's, well-known in the fishing industry, and they always talk about Palm Bay and the freshwater fishing down there. So they're always pushing that out, and that's a great relationship that we have with them, so.
Mayor Medina, you think there's enough B-roll footage of the fishing tournaments already that some kind of spot could be put together?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think that's what I was attempting to communicate, and I believe that we've done that in the past.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, if you were to create a 14-second like YouTube pre-roll kind of spot, it seems like that's not very much money to insert those. I mean, it's even a budget that you can control daily, right? I mean, when we're talking about the digital, it's not very expensive. It's a matter of assembling that spot. That's 14 seconds. Is it something that's already been done and it was used in the past, or it's something?
Campaigns, a lot of fishing, stick marsh,
Yeah.
is there. Good photos too. There were billboards.
Yeah, one of our billboards that we have up now has got that shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, could we revisit that
Yes,
as
sir.
we get into the later summer? I know we're gonna have a little time off here, because it seems like maybe there would be an opportunity for the fall, especially as we talk
Yep.
more and more about this staycation idea.
Yeah.
People come over and go fishing for the weekend in Palm Bay. Sir, would you be amenable to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely, and I appreciate this council's consideration.
Okay, very, very good. So we'll kind of tentative bring that back maybe
Yes, sir.
after June. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
Big
Yes.
bass.
Big bass.
Big bass.
was there a video created for Titusville?
No, there was not. We started with Cocoa Beach, and then we moved into Melbourne, so just time and resources at
I
this
gotcha.
point. So.
Is there a plan for that?
Yeah, I think as we get into the next fiscal and our budget resets, that's definitely something we can look at as well. And that we'll have to shoot because we don't have a lot of footage from there, but, I mean, there's some great stuff to shoot, obviously, so.
Well, let us know what help we can provide on our end, because I think we have a lot of great content already kind of in-house, whether
Okay.
at the city or the
Yeah, that'd be
chambers
great.
or what have you, so, you know.
Yeah, maybe we can get with your communications person and see what's.
Now, did you get
existing.
some B-roll of all the people along US 1?
For Artemis.
So,
And-
yes,
North of, so right there at the park at 50 in US 1, right? I heard they closed US 1. That can't be right, but did they close what, the northbound side of it, or?
we did not close US 1,
Okay.
believe it or not. And in case you were actually wanted a hard count, 184,989 cars were in our city that day, which is about 100,000 more than a typical
Than
day.
normal.
So
Now, how do you know that?
our police have various methods for counting how many
All right.
unique license plates are in the city. So it's a very accurate number. And of course, that takes into account our daily commuters, and it could be Brevard County residents as well.
Sure.
But just looking at our historical data, we typically have about 80,000 unique vehicles per day, so 100,000 above that, which is pretty amazing. And the fact that there was no incidents, no issues. I actually recorded a hyperlapse driving from 405 up US 1 to the Max Brewer, and just trying to catch everything that we could. With the launch, there was a 35-mile no-fly zone for anything, including drones, but our police had the waiver. So when we were flying our drone for public safety, we got a lot of good content as well that we have at the city that we could use to show the Max Brewer just shut down because, there was people standing everywhere to watch the launch from that
Yeah.
location. So
That'd be a great shot.
So hotels up there sold out, I mean, off
Hotels
50
everywhere.
up there.
Hotels were
I
full.
know.
All of them. Let's do that again.
Brevard
in a
County.
month.
But restaurants are full, all of that. I mean,
yeah, I had a lot of great, conversations with our restaurateurs, and one of them told me they were planning on ordering extra food and accidentally ordered double what they were planning the extra, and they still sold out. So it was just kind of was a happy accident that it worked out for them, and weren't sitting on all that, but it was really, really great. And one of the waitresses at another restaurant told me that she just got in her vehicle and cried at the end of the night because of how busy they were. But, I think that's
so the
food service.
Publix deli also wiped out on 50.
I have no idea about the
Yeah,
Publix
okay,
deli,
all right.
but, a lot of our
That's the real
local
test.
Restaurants
Yeah.
were pretty booked, so it was
Okay.
pretty cool.
Okay, so rocket launch for Titusville is good.
Very good. I would say that our normal Falcon 9s are not really anymore, but the special ones definitely are. And as Starship looks to come to Brevard County, I would say that's probably the next big one, as I anticipate that launching before Artemis 3. But Artemis 4, when they actually do land on the moon, will probably be a massive launch as well.
You and I should go out there and sell subs on 50 and US 1, right?
Or parking,
Business
or
opportunity.
T-shirts, or
Gotcha.
whatever.
Or empanadas.
Yeah, I'm open to it, sir. I can't say that I can make an empanada, but I'm open to it. Okay, very good. Any other questions or comments on this? No? Okay.
I just want to say thank you, because it wasn't easy to put this together, but we are so proud of the outcome, and the other hoteliers I talked to are thrilled, and it couldn't have come at a more perfect time, so.
And there's a meeting tomorrow where we're going
Yeah,
to
Right.
get
yeah.
to show the whole, we're going to
We're
show
gonna
them
show it,
everything
yeah.
to see. So, yeah,
I plan to attend.
great.
All right.
And sir, I had one more marketing item. The last meeting, we had a conversation about summer, and by the way, the summer campaign has begun, but, it runs all the way through August, so we've got some long time here to do some different things if we need to. But, there was a conversation about where we were spending, what markets we were in, should we look at more drive markets, should we look at more staycation kind of markets? So I asked the agency to put together some data, and then I put some data together. So under your notes there's a single sheet. It should be kind of separate. It's like a separate page. And if you can get that out, I'm going to kind of walk you through it and then talk about where we are and what our thoughts are. So this page, so if you look at it, there's kind of two parts, the top half and the bottom half. The top is source market. So this is using our cellular data. So we have, some technology too that we use to track individuals, and this tells us where people are coming from. So there's, basically 11 markets. We got 6 out-of-state and 5 in-state markets that we heavily market in. And then there's one additional, which is Nashville. It's not on here, but Nashville is a big market as a drive market. So, we've got that. And if you look at those, you can kind of see total trips. That's basically tracking individual cellular devices, and then visitor days, which is how many days they spent. So kind of gives you a feel for the market. And it, it's kind of interesting because as you would expect, people from out of state stay a little bit longer, and that plays into the media aspect of it when we get into that. Then down in the bottom half, so we have 2 different campaigns. We have the District 2 campaign, and then we have all the other districts, which is, Melbourne, Palm Bay, and Titusville. And so we kind of run them side by side, but use some slightly different tactics and slightly different markets in there based on our collaboration with the Cocoa Beach Hotel Association. So if you look at District 2, they're heavy in Florida, and then there's a few markets out of state that they use in the southern market. And then if you look that's on the left side. On the right side, again, we, in the other districts, we use Florida markets, and then we also use some of the southern markets, but then we also dip into some of those northern markets. So if you look on the far right-hand side, what I did was I took basically media impressions and our media spending in each of those markets, and I just sorted them by Florida, southern markets, and northern markets. And you can see, the bulk, Florida gets a little more than a fourth of the campaign, and then the southern markets, which is heavy Atlanta, Charlotte, also includes South Carolina and Nashville, they get 60%. And then the northern markets, not as much, you get about 12%. So that's the mix, and that's not an atypical mix that we've done in the past. 88% of the campaign is reaching people within 8-hour drive. So I think it's a heavy drive market campaign to begin with, but obviously people from Atlanta, Charlotte can also fly. So you've got both options there. So our recommendation is, we launched the campaign, thanks. We launched the campaign a week and a half ago. Let's let it run for a while. We're going to monitor the digital advertising. And then from there we can, see if there are markets that are performing better, then we can look at potentially shifting budget if we need to. My first thought about that is, looking at Philly and Chicago. Those are markets that we could maybe shift some dollars into Florida, maybe a little bit from Atlanta or Charlotte, one or the other, or a little bit of both, if we see the need for that. But when you think about average length of stay, reaching those out of state markets, I think that's really critical, and I think the ROI on those people is going to be higher. So I don't want to necessarily adjust too much right now until we really see how the campaign's performing. So those are my thoughts, sir.
All right, questions for Peter on that?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Julie.
Is it all of this drive market, Peter? This whole document is drive market?
No, so, well,
I was confused.
obviously, New York, DC, Philly, and Chicago are not, yeah.
Okay, so-
And then Charlotte and Atlanta, I mean, yes, they're within 8 hours, but they're also fly.
Okay, I got you. So it's a mix.
It's a mix.
Sir?
I just want to say that I haven't worked with Peter now for many years.
7?
You know, 7. He does do a lot of analysis. He makes decisions based on data.
Is your
And,
mic on, Tom?
It is. I'm just so soft-spoken,
Yeah.
you know, it's just my nature.
Aye, sir.
Yes, sir.
Carry on.
Yeah, Peter and the team do a great job. They analyze everything when they make decisions. It's not done sort of emotionally or off the cuff. So I know he's poured over these. We've looked at them repeatedly, and these are our markets. You can trim around the edges, but I wouldn't make any drastic changes, kind of just based on sentiment and sort of brief conversations, unless you actually dig into all the research that they've done.
Can I ask for my own curiosity here? This summer, coming to stay on the beach during the weekdays, Monday through Thursday, family coming from Orlando versus weekend. You don't have to tell me how much you're charging, but I'm just curious, for a family coming over, can you stay on the beach for less than $200 during the week? Can that even be done?
I'm not on the beach.
Yeah.
It depends on the hotel.
Yeah, I understand.
But if we look at the Star Report, there's a page that's not included here, but Peter can share that. It shows you weekday
Yep.
and weekend rates, because Smith Travel breaks it up as such.
Yep.
And
Yeah, we
if
get
you look
daily
at,
reports that kinda give
if you
us
look
that.
at April here in Cocoa Beach and Melbourne, the ADR, average daily rate in Cocoa Beach is $200. And in Cape
Full week.
Canaveral, it's cruisers, 205. So that's full week.
Yeah.
Brevard County, 159. So I wish the answer was no. I wish it was $300, but it isn't.
I know, I was
And,
very sort
yeah.
of
So we are
diplomatic.
still, that's why I'm optimistic for the future. When you compare us to these other markets, and these are right here in front of us. And, Lake Buena Vista, ADR, $304, and Fort Lauderdale at $360, and we got a long way to go.
Yeah,
We're still an affordable drive market relative to our competitors around the Horn, from Sarasota down through Fort Myers, Miami, and up the coast here.
My daughter and grandkids were in Disney first week of May, and just for me to go spend a night over there with them is pretty stunning, and go to the park and everything. So that's why I asked that. I mean, I
Yeah.
think this is the better deal
Yep.
for sure. And
And I think
so-
you're seeing in the south part of the county, the comp set is dropping rates. That's what's occurring right now in the summer. So I think what I've seen is yes, is the answer, unfortunately, to your question, is, oceanfront, you can get below. I looked today, 152 was an oceanfront hotel. So that's.
And oceanfront hotel.
And ocean,
Yeah.
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 Not the beautiful residence inn in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
Right.
more. But
Yeah.
oceanfront, you could get it for that. So we've got a thing going on down right now.
South
The
of
rates-
O'Galley?
Rates are, it's a bit of a rate war going on. People are just dropping. And I think everyone's a little bit nervous, and you can see it. But we've seen a rough last 2 weeks.
The last minute demand, which you'd think sounds like a small portion of your demand, but for the mid-segment hotels and non-corporate hotels, it's over 50% of your demand. So while forward group bookings and things into June and July look okay, you still are expecting that last minute within 7-day pickup, and a lot of it isn't materializing. The couple that you referred to at the beginning of the discussion, let's pick up and go to the beach for the weekend. For whatever reason, there's a multitude of reasons. They're not nearly coming in the numbers that we, that we saw last year, that we're comping to,
Or the year before that, or the year.
or the year before that.
It's been a long
or the
time
year
since we've
before
seen
that.
this,
You know, we
yeah.
kind of peaked in sort of, obviously 19 was the high water mark, and then we had kind of a nice peak through the summer of '23, and it's been flat to down since. But
And now
costs
we're-
keep going up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and APR has gone up a little bit, so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not keeping up with inflation by any means.
No.
And the next 90 days are a big question mark, at least for my market. I have no idea.
What's your weekend travel kind of mix?
We get that short term, and our window's even less than that. I mean, we saw 24 to 48 hours. It was a booking window.
Wow.
Yeah, at the beginning of May, the end of April. And so, but that, the last few weeks has not been materializing. Even that.
But corporate travel isn't that short, or is it? Is it?
Everybody, yeah, there's a
I'm
lot of
coming to
supply.
Northrop Grumman tomorrow.
There's a lot of supply.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's another factor for, whenever I talk to hotels, there's 1,500 to 2,000 more rooms since 2 years ago. In the next couple of years, there's going to be another 1,500 to 2,000 more rooms. So you're not going to see occupancy going up. You may see ADR go, and certainly in Cocoa Beach, potentially with the Westin. But, yeah, no individual hotel is as happy as they were a couple of years ago.
I have this report, which is still fascinating. I probably got it 15 years ago at a conference, and PricewaterhouseCoopers went back like 100 and maybe 200 years, and on an inflation-adjusted basis, and looked at ADRs and occupancies in the United States, and it literally held to like about $100 and 68%. And, with supply and demand, you're going to see spikes in demand, supply is going to catch up, you're going to see a dip. So if you want to be in the hotel business, you got to kind of bankroll that. Obviously, every small market is going to be different, but in a national average, that's about it, 70%.
Must have been quite something when people arrived on horseback.
And we're seeing this across the state, too. Like my peers and my colleagues in Central Florida and the West Coast, all the way down to South Florida, are seeing similar patterns. So it's going to be, I'm interested to see what the numbers come in
Yeah.
for May. It's not been like this in a long time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, my suggestion is, we let the campaign roll. We get into June. We really monitor the digital, because digital tells us who's clicking and volume, and, we're also asking for some booking data as well. And then, of course, always reaching out to hotels and seeing how they're doing and what's going on. And, if we do need to redeploy some funds into Florida because we think, hey, Florida's got a better opportunity for short-term travel, we can do that. And like I said, I think we would shave Philly and Chicago. I think we'd shave a little bit from Atlanta and Charlotte. I think we could easily pull out, $200,000-300,000 and run a campaign in the drive, immediate drive market, like, within 3-4 hours of us, as opposed to 8 hours, and hopefully have some impact. So, that's my thought, and we don't meet again till end of July, so hopefully the council trusts us to keep the eye on the ball and keep monitoring that.
I thinking about July 27th, if we feel like we need to make some change for the fall, I know you don't probably like to hear those words, but if we're concerned about what's happening in the summer and we want to change something for the fall, I suppose we can take that up July 27th.
We certainly could.
Some-
As we're building the marketing plan, we'll be having, that'll include fall, next fall, then spring and summer again for next year. So we'll be able to get some feedback on that, and then we'll bring the full plan in August. But we can absolutely have that conversation on the 27th, so
Okay.
that's fine.
Wayne, you're really quiet. Titusville's doing great.
We're steady. It takes me longer to get home with all the extra traffic on the 405. So
It's amazing.
I know the business is picking up. So, and we get a lot of spikes with the launches. Like Andrew was saying, you know, it's not just the type of rocket, it's the payload that will bring people as well. So
It's great.
it's different business.
I've been hearing that more and more, right, from your peers. You're seeing more business related to the payload, and that's a great thing. All right, other questions for Peter, comments, sir?
So, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Peter, if I'm tracking you correctly, you're believing that hitting these outside markets like Philly and Chicago, the ROI would be greater because of the length of stay.
That's right, sir.
So that's what the plan is currently,
Right.
moving forward
Right.
for this until, and you're going to be able to adapt.
Yeah,
Is
we
that-
can adjust as we go, you know, and like I said, for us, early indicators include digital advertising, because you can see the click-through rates, you can see if the ads are resonating with that market or not, and it's pretty easy to redeploy those funds. And then on the TV side, you know, we can adjust as well. So, yeah, as always, our plans are adjustable, but I think, you know, the relatively smaller investment in those northern markets, I think the ROI is going to be really good on those.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments on this? We have one card on public comment before. Is there anything else, Peter? on
No, sir, that
marketing?
was all I
Okay.
have.
Before I go there, I see Mike. Sir, you sat through the whole meeting. Is there anything you want to tell us about beach or natural resources, or
Only if you need me and have questions.
does anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, since Mike's here, does anyone have questions for him on beach renourishment, finishing up, natural resources? Anybody? Nothing? All right. All right. We'll go to public comment. Rick?
Rick Heffelfinger, 2000 Juniper, do I have to do all that? 2000 Juniper Drive, District 1. I had made a comment, I think, on a public comment to the commission about, I think there was something on the agenda that, is it the Police Hall of Fame that has folded? The Eternal Flame? Anybody help me out on that?
Yes.
Yes. So they folded up, and they went into bankruptcy, right?
I'm not aware that they went into
I
bankruptcy.
think I saw something that said they've gone into bankruptcy. My question is, if somebody here could answer that, are we gonna try to claw back any money that they took? There was supposed to be a helipad, I think. I'm seeing that on the internet, see, so I'm up here trying to verify what I read on the internet. But there was a sizable investment. I know they didn't take it all, but I think it was a grant, right? A grant?
Yes.
And that kind of, so where are we gonna do with that? I'm not guaranteed, there's no guarantee if you claw back that D1 gets it, but that was a sizable grant for D1, right?
It was. So the grant was $5 million for 5 years, $1 million a year. Between that grant and then an earlier grant they got a few years before that, they collected $2.7 million. They are currently under audit by the clerk's office. Clerk is looking at that, and believe the sheriff's office is also getting involved. So that's where we are right now.
So does the county attorney have any input into that, if there was legal action to go after them in the bankruptcy or put a lien on them?
Once the results come back, then the county attorney can weigh in on whether there's any action that we can take based on the,
So they're
based on
looking-
the contract.
They're looking at criminal more than anything? Because this is merely a,
They're looking at both. They're looking at everything.
okay, do you have any idea when those guys would be able to give you an input on that?
I don't.
No, okay. So that'd be something I could talk to the sheriff about, and I could talk to, who else was weighing in?
The clerk
The
of court.
clerk.
Clerk was looking at where that money went?
Yes.
Okay. Is that property now defunct? Did they own that property too?
They owned the property, yeah.
So any?
That's their major asset.
Okay. So that property's gonna be tied up in court maybe because of a bankruptcy?
I mean, obviously, if we have any chance of clawing back anything, it would be by encumbering that property, so.
Okay.
That's what they're looking at, but they have to find, wrongdoing, so.
Well, I don't know if you need wrongdoing. They took money and you basically, they have I think they have some obligation to pay it back if they smoked it or whatever they did with it, right? You had an investment with them. I would think that you would have a claim at bankruptcy to come and get that money back. Because I don't think they built a helipad. So where'd the money go? That's the question. And I think, I was just wondering if, that as soon as that bankruptcy came out, that you guys could have filed for a lien of getting back your investment. But if the sheriff's, I don't want to miss that opportunity. I think you don't want to either. So I just was.
I mean, the county attorney's well aware.
He's aware, okay, all right. That's what I was just, because I wasn't sure we were gonna, it's nice to have a project go in District 1, but if it gets scrambled, then it'd be nice to, I think the hotels would appreciate you taking care of their money too.
We would love to have that money back.
Yes, that would be great. All right, that's all I
I
have.
can think of a few things to spend it on.
Yeah, well, thank you for the information, appreciate it, thanks.
And just to clarify something on that, they received a portion of it. They didn't get the whole 5 million.
No.
So we didn't send,
Right.
I should say the county didn't send.
Yeah, we have
the-
3 years left on the grant, so.
Yeah, so stopped when this all came to light
Right.
and didn't send the rest of the money. So any kind of clawback, go ahead, sir.
No, was, having been a creditor in a few bankruptcies, it's where you fall in the pecking order. And we did not make a secured loan to that entity. So I have
Right.
the county would unfortunately be all the way at the bottom.
And
Lawyers, employees, secured creditors, banks, they all get paid first.
And one of the consequences of all of this is that we've decided here and have brought to the board that we're not going to pay for the sort of intangible stuff in the future, right? We're going to pay for concrete and those kinds of things rather than plans and engineering and that's I think I made a comment before. Maybe we should be the last few $1 million, not the first few $1 million. So
No, that's in the criteria that the TDC
Yep.
approved.
And that's just a
Couple of
means
months
to,
ago,
that's a
so.
means to protect ourselves from things like that in the future. Okay, that was our public comment. We already checked in with Mike. Let's go to board reports. Julie,
I have nothing, thank you.
Bear Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm very excited to announce that the Arsenal football coaches are coming to Titusville to do a soccer camp with our kids. So that's very, very exciting. And hopefully, as we build on that relationship, hopefully we have more Premier League teams coming to Brevard County to maybe do some training when it gets a little cold on the other side of the pond. And then another idea that was brought to me by a constituent that I thought was a really good idea that I'm kind of exploring, but I wanted to let you guys know, is as you travel down 528 to come out to Brevard County, where 407 splits off, on the sign, it says Port Canaveral straight ahead. To 407, it says Kennedy Space Center. It'd be really nice if that sign also advertised Playa Linda Beach, as we try to divert, traffic to come see our beaches and not just work travel. So unfortunately, that road is not owned by FDOT, but more of the turnpike. So kind of working through some of those logistics right now, but I think that would help boost your tourism a little bit as well. And that's my report.
Expressway Authority owns that portion, so you have to talk with them to do a sign change.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Ask them to widen it while you're on the phone with them.
Yes.
Please.
Okay,
I'll
well,
tackle all those issues.
Thank you, thank you.
that might be the end of your sign idea if you
Yeah.
get into the widening conversation. Okay, Alex. Sorry. Hey, I want to say that my staff and I went to Cafe Margot for lunch. We stopped in Merritt Island and had a few other things up there. And anyways, it was lovely. You weren't there, of course. It was your day off, I guess. But we really enjoyed it, and so it was a nice. It was a nice hour in Cocoa Village, and it was a beautiful day. So
Sorry I missed you.
yeah. Mayor Medina, sir.
So, thank you. So at my last report, I shared about our Mayor's Ball. Annually, we have a Mayor's Ball, and we choose a not-for-profit or nonprofit as beneficiary. So I'm proud to announce that we were able to raise, with over 200 in attendance at the Mayor's Ball, we were able to issue a check to Essential Pregnancy Center for over $60,000. So I'm really proud of the fact that our community came out. And so that was a huge victory for not only Essential Pregnancy Center, but also the entire community to see, coming out to see how we could, help out women that need assistance in medical care. So thank you.
Well done, sir. John Moran.
We're in the process of building out our West Melbourne School, adding 300 students to the school at the high school, along with a rubberized track, a soccer field, stadium, seating. And that's about it. We should be open by August.
And do you have another project going on, perhaps?
We're still working on the pool
Yeah, the pool.
in Palm Bay.
Hoorah.
Which is going to have swim meets and all sorts of things.
Yes.
It's going to
50 meter.
have it all.
Yep.
All right. Wayne?
Nothing
Sir?
to report. Thank you.
Rockets are good. All right. Peter?
Yeah, just some quick note, there's no meeting in June. We will be back on July 27th, but tomorrow there is a marketing committee, and then we'll get back to our regular scheduled programming, July and August. And I just wanted a personal note, I wanted to thank Joanna and Angela for all the work they do to put these things together. I know it looks, easy, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes and meeting minutes and putting these packets together. So thanks to you guys.
I appreciate it too, because they accommodate me with roll call. That's a uniquely Rob thing. So when I go to different meetings, they don't know what to do when I say I call the roll. But TDC does know to handle that. July 27th is our next meeting. I don't think I have much for the council. I always ask this. So spring break was good. How's the summer? How are things looking? Anybody? Bueller?
My crystal ball just broke
Okay.
in
All
April.
right. Okay.
It's
Are
a
there
mixed
bright?
bag.
Are there bright spots? Things we're happy about in summer tourism?
I'm excited to see the results of the drive campaign, the summer campaign. I think it's going to help.
Cruise traffic?
It's over it's like $2.5 million, so
Yeah.
it's definitely some media in the market.
Yeah.
It'll make some noise.
Cruise is still strong. One of my contacts there said they're seeing some drop off unexpectedly in the last few weeks as well in May, like we all were. So we'll see.
Okay, very good. All right, we will see you on July 27th. Thank you, everyone.
I've got July 27th.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.